Okay, how's the brightness? Can you see? I want to go over one that's in my notes. That's a little bit particular, but a lot of dogs are sensitive to it. That is the infamous nail clippers. All right. Now, this is just an example, but I want the process to be able to be applied to any new, maybe not scary, to her probably scary, but any new and maybe just curious situations, right? The MO is going to look exactly the same. So what we're going to do when we do any of our training exercises is get our slip lead. In this exercise, I'm going to put her underneath my chair, put the little loop underneath there. So now we're locked in. Give her a couple seconds to learn the parameters that she now has, what she's restricted to on leash. Treats for this one. And again, this applies to any new scary thing, okay? If she's scared of being pet a certain way, we're doing the same process. If she's scared of, some dogs need muzzle training, something. If she ever needs that, anything like that, maybe she gets snippy at the groomers. Anything that's new and you haven't done with a dog, you have to give them time to fairly observe and analyze the new thing, the new tool, the new person, the new situation, and you click them through it, okay? It's not fair to just expect all of our dogs to be able to adjust to all the millions of things we have to adjust to. They're not built like that. They take a long time to analyze and observe things. So you got your new object. In this case, we're using nail clippers. And here's where I want to start. I have treats, I have the clicker, I have the clippers. I want her to touch them, and then I click and she gets a treat. Okay? Hold it out. When she touches it, I know she's touching it with her muzzle, and we're going to need her to touch it. It's going to be in contact with her paws, but it's a good place to start. Hold it out. Pay for that curiosity. Pay for that curiosity, right? Hold it in different directions so you know she's actually targeting the tool itself. If she doesn't target it, she doesn't get a click. She doesn't get a treat. She'll get bored of looking behind the chair for nothing. It's not exciting. It's slow. Show it to her. Doesn't want to touch it. Is scared of it. Doesn't get a treat. Doesn't get a click. We don't click for that. A click means I like what you're doing right now, and I don't like that she's skittish. I liked the first two things when she was interested. I'm not going to actually clip her nails because this is the first time that I've even shown her nail clippers. So that's just, that's out of the question, but we need to start somewhere. Now she's scared of the object. Even though it's had two positive associations, she's scared of it. What does that tell me? Anxious and illogical. That's what we're working with. You got paid both times. This thing in my hands has never done anything wrong to you, and now you're scared of it for no reason. So that's an anxious brain that's just making illogical decisions like a lot of anxious brains do. It's fairly normal. I'm going to shorten up the leash because it's getting a little annoying with her walking behind me. I'm just going to step on it. Takes time. She's targeted it twice. She got paid twice. She's smart. She'll figure out the exercise. Shorten up the leash a little bit. Keep her focus on you. Getting more and more anxious. The paws lifting up. She has to face anxieties. It's just a pair of nail clippers. Put it in front of her face. She turns away. Don't click. Now I'm going to restrict how much she can avoid. Okay, she's trying to avoid by hiding behind the chair. I'm going to go shorter and shorter. Good. And now I clicked for just sitting down. All right, why did I do that? I want her to learn better tactics for facing her fears, not turning and running from everything. We have to work on that skittish nature. She's very, very jumpy. Show. Pay. Show. Look at the avoidance, avoidance, avoidance. I'm not going to let her run back behind the chair. I started by giving her more freedom. You make bad decisions, we have to be there to guide you. The ears are back now. She's getting into total shutdown for nothing. It's just a tool that I haven't even ever used on her. Show when she looks away, nothing. Turning of the body, turn the head back. Good. I am going to pay for that. Right? That is a better response to fear than running away. That's her. Look, good job. And then she got up and kind of looked at it, right? That's a much better response to fear, is laying down. Dog laying down is going to slowly become more and more calm. It's just a manipulation of the body. Very anxious. Very anxious for no reason. She looked at it. I'm sure you've noticed, but I'm paying her out of the same hand that I'm holding the nail clippers in. Obviously for a reason. I want her to associate something else with the nail clippers that isn't fear. And all this jumpy pushiness when she just wants to take the treats out of my hand, absolutely no reward for that. Yep, nice. You're going to have to acknowledge this weird thing if you want to get anything out of my hand. I'm still going to pay for downs and sits. She's now staring at the object, right? I want her to come to my hand with this thing in there that she's obviously scared of. I don't know if she's been nicked or something, but in our initial phone call, I have in my notes, was some nail sensitivity. So it's worth working on, especially with an anxious dog. She's thinking, and she's relaxing a little bit. That's all right. She knows where the treats are, and they're where the scary object is. A little bit of a signal there towards it. A little bit of the head turned out. Nice. Now I'm going to switch it up. We're going to move to a little bit more contact with the object instead of just visually marking it. Now I'm going to cup it in the same hand that I treat from, and I'm going to release treats very slowly. I'm going to make her really work for the treats. So object's in my hand, and she's got to dig in my hand. Very good. I'm just clicking as I release the treats. So when she's digging in there, I'm not clicking. As soon as I click, I release it. Nice, and she went back that last time and there was no treats in my hand. So, stage one with new stuff, nail clippers, ad lib, anything, is just going to be visual. You're just going to mark her for looking at stuff. Looking at stuff, muzzle bumping stuff, that's the first process to getting over fear of new anythings. The second process is contact. So You can cup the treats like that with objects. If it's a person, you can have that person cup treats. Okay? Good job. And then we move on to, if it's body related, like the nail clippers or a muzzle or something, then we're going to move on to wherever the actual area needs to be in contact with. So if it's nail clippers, it's going to be the paw, right? So I would start one, visual, show the object, she alerts to the object, mark the object. 2, touches the object with her muzzle, assesses it, mark that. And then 3, I'd pick up her paw, touch it to her paw, and mark that. Now, if you run those 3 things, you can get a dog used to anything. We just want them to know the objects are safe. After the object is conditioned in, and she's been treated for it, and nothing bad has happened, it just becomes a regular everyday object. It just becomes something that she's accepted. We don't need to do the process every time we need to clip her nails. We just need to do it while she's in training, so that she understands, how to process new things. We'll do the 3rd step. Okay. The conditioning. It's a little bit tricky. The treats are in the hand that the clipper's in. I have my clicker. Grab a paw. Touch to paw. Click. It's a bit weirder, and it's a little hard to balance treat, nail clipper with picking up her paw and clicker, but it's worth it to get it done. Pick up her paw, touch, pay. That's it. Good job. Pick up her paw, touch, pay. She's not having a great reaction to it, but what I'm trying to tell her is that when you see something, when you come in contact with something that you're afraid of, you get rewarded, or at the very least, positively reinforced, right? So we're not building animosity to those objects. Now she's sniffing all over the object, and I don't have treats in my hand even. So we already got past that initial touch phase. The longest is obviously the contact with the paw. Most dogs are shy when they pick up their paw. It's a weird situation. Sit. Good job. Down. Good girl. Touch to paw. Pick up paw. Mark. Alright? I'm not gonna clip her nails because I am not a groomer. I don't even clip my own dog's nails. I take them to a groomer because they do a better job. Because that's what they're paid to do. But in order to make that grooming experience go a lot more smoothly and your dog be less anxious and traumatized over a silly little tool, doing some of that counter conditioning at home can help get them through it. So, again, that applies to nail clippers, new leashes and harnesses, new people, new objects, anything you notice she's scared of, apply that process. First visual, mark for her, looking at something. Then touch, then target to a place if needed. Good job. Good job. I wanted to add on one little thing that I just thought of during this video that isn't directly related to marking for objects, but it kind of goes off the Tellington Touch video. If you notice, I'm petting her underneath like this. Right? I'm petting her really slowly. Everyone has a tendency to pet dogs on top of their head, and in their language, that's an act of aggression. When a dog puts themselves above another dog, when they put their head over another dog like that, it's a huge, huge sign of dominance. And I don't want to display dominance to anxious dogs. I want them to display confidence. So I go underneath, and I even lift their head up a little bit. Encourage them to be comfortable in any situation, even one such as repetitive as petting. So pet underneath, pick their head up, make them feel comfortable, and pet slowly. Add in some of the, add in some of that if you need to. It's all just ways to calmly build confidence. Watch Dinky. Watch Dinky. Went to go put my head towards her head, and even when I did that, I used proper canine body language. Turn my head to the side and let her smell me. It's less threatening. So there's always little inactive things like that you can be doing to help improve your dog's confidence, but you know, it takes a lot of time because there's a lot of variables. There's a lot of new things for an anxious dog to be anxious towards. Constantly, every day. So we have to expose them to as much as we can and use as much, basic knowledge as we can learn to help hasten the process and promote calm understanding. Okay? Good job. Let's go outside.